The 2024 Z900. How's it fare after 1,500 miles? Welcome back, Anonymous Biker USA. We're out on the Z or Z900 2024, and we are turning 1,500 miles on it. So I figured I'd do my review on what I thought of it so far, 1,500 miles in. Those of you looking for a bike in this class, sport naked, may be looking at this one, the Yamaha MT-10, the KTM 890, all great bikes. As you all know, with Kawasaki, you're going to get the tremendous reliability. Never a concern with that on this bike. But 1,500 miles in, I've ridden it very spirited on flats, straights, twisties, curves, and the bike is everything as advertised. It is the heavier bike in the segment of the others, but it does have more horsepower and the torque is undeniable. The handling, the cornering, the responsiveness, first class. Only complaint I have so far on this bike is, and it's only when I'm on it for a long period of time, the stock seat. After about 3 hours, butt starts going numb, starts falling asleep, and it's time to get off and either get gassed or take a break. But other than that, I mean, this thing, absolutely awesome. Engine braking is solid. The brakes have been really good. And then the ability to throw this bike around in the corners, I mean, it's Kawasaki, right? Absolutely stupendous. The TFT screen, no issues with that. In bright direct sunlight, it's been great. You can change the color from a white background to a black background depending on what you need. If you're buying this bike for fuel mileage, wrong guy to ask, because I don't ride it that way. I ride this bike most of the time pretty spirited, so I run through gas pretty quick. I'm sure if you ride it conservatively, you would do well. It's a 4.5 gallon tank, but that's not why I got this bike. I got this bike for day trips, mountain roads, twisties, and just having fun. Not so much for long jaunts and highway. I do ride it on the highway, and obviously there is no wind protection. And just like anything, if you're doing 70, 75, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, you're going to start feeling a little beat up. So if you have a short ride on the highway as a commuter, no problem. But if you're putting long miles in, probably want to get something with more wind protection. Not sure you're looking at the sport naked category for that purpose anyway. So if you're buying the bike for the purpose that this is designed for, it is A+, A number one. And then even price point, right? You're in that $9,500 to $12,500 depending on where you live. price point, you get a lot of bike and a lot of oomph for the money. So we'll see if we can get a little pull off up here and take a look at it. Engine wise, I kept this bike completely stock. The only things I've changed so far are these bar end mirrors from Fenrir, F-E-N-R-I-R, available on Amazon. I like the look of them more so than the function. They do decent with the coverage. The stock mirrors obviously are much wider, so they cover a lot more ground, but once you get these adjusted the way you need them, you got it figured out, and it's not a problem. Also put this GPS on, wired it to the battery so it's always charged. It's a nice little feature if you're taking trips, and you can always use your phone mount if that's your method. I prefer to keep my phone in the bag and off because I don't want to see text messages and calls and all that other stuff while I'm riding. The goal is to get away from that. So, but you know, just meandering through these roads here, I mean, this thing is absolutely awesome. The tires, Michelin Sport Tech for a stock tire, find them to be very good for the purpose. You know, you're probably going to get what you expect out of them in a rear tire in this, 3,000 to 5,000 miles before you change it and get what you want. So no complaints there. Weight of the bike, I don't find to be a problem. I find this bike very well balanced. I don't find any issues with it. So if you are looking at the lighter bikes like the KTM, you know, and that's your main thing, I would go with that. But you know, I changed the stock exhaust can. I took that big old 80-pounder off and put the Leo Vinci all black slip on. Number one for the look, number two to shave some weight, which did a great job and gives a little bit of a sound, and it does look better. So you know, this bike, you get so much for the money, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking at it. You're not going to be wrong. Now, you do have the SE version, which is going to cost you a little more. It's going to also give you adjustable suspension. It gives you inverted forks, things of that nature. So this stock bike, the suspension, not bad. I mean, it's not the best, but you're going to have a sporty, stiff ride on this kind of bike, right? So, you know, and this road is an exact example of how I ride this bike, you know. Now, this one in particular, going a little slower because it's not in the best of condition, and there's always potholes, so... Look at all this gravel. Good Lord. That's a disaster right there. Slow speed maneuvering. Easy peasy on this bike. So if I see a little pull off, I'll get off and we'll just do a little walk around. Just show you what we did to the bike, see how it looks. The first 600 miles was the break-in service. That was the hard part, simply because, whoa, watch that, buddy. What is that, a little water well right there? Yeah, spring. It's hard to keep this bike under the recommended RPMs until you break it in, because the bike just wants to go. The throttle is woof. I mean, it's so responsive. You know, when I get on the brakes here, this is just crappy road. I don't know if you're picking up all these bumps in the sunlight, but the lights are good, you know, LEDs all around. It's a nice touch. Very bright headlight. I find it to be good at night. I don't do a lot of night riding, but when I get caught in the dusk or coming back, it's super sufficient. I'm just looking for a little pull off. Oh, we got one right here. Is it decent? Yeah, not really. It's a lot of gravel, a lot of glass. Yeah, you see these bumps? So, I mean, look, it's testing the suspension. Is this a better one right here? No, geez, big old potholes. It's just a fun bike, and the Kawasaki with the reliability, I mean, you can't go wrong. You change the oil on this thing, and if you want to make this last you 15 years, it will. You just tires, brakes, and oil, right? Here we are, 2024 Z900. Like I said, added these veneer bar end mirrors right here. Like the way they look, the GPS. The tail bag from Macizo does a good job, goes under the seat, and the Leo Vinci black, all black slip-on. But yeah, 1,500 miles in the inline 4, phenomenal engine, intake is great, tons of pep, plenty of power, awesome on these kind of roads here. Highway, easy to overtake, plenty of speed. It's just as expected with a Sport Naked. Your wind protection's not the best, so a couple hours in, yeah, you'll feel a little beat up on the road. But I also put the little kickstand extender on here just because that kickstand stinks, and when you get into this kind of crap, you need some extra leverage just to be safe. Never had a passenger on, never will. I don't think this is the bike for that. Ergonomics, like I said, comfortable. So I highly recommend this 2024 Z900. What say you in the comments? If you have one, what are your complaints? Here come some bikes. But if you have one, what are your complaints? This Sport Tech tire, I mean, looks pretty good still. 1,500 miles. Michelin. I like the bike. I think it's really good. As a main bike, do everything. I don't know. Maybe this is a secondary bike for me. Like I said, if you're doing a lot of highway, because of the wind protection, you will feel a little beat up, but it is a good bike. Red line's at 11,000 RPMs. And switching the modes on the bike is super simple. You can do it on the fly with this little joystick handle right here. And then it gives you, the TFT gives you a lot of feedback besides your time, your trip, your odometer. It'll give you your average speed, your average miles per gallon. Gives you your battery voltage, your temperature, all the basics. No tire pressure. But with these stock tires, it says, you know, run them at 36 and 41 or 42 in the rear, and that's what I've been doing. Seems to be really good. But what we'll do is, so, you know, these are just typical curvy country back roads, just to kind of show you. I'm not doing anything crazy here. We're just riding, meandering down. For a sport naked too, I mean, it's pretty comfortable. Other than, you know, 3 hours or so in the stock seat, you take a break, you can do another 3 hours. And I mean, I think that's all you can expect, and that's a reasonable expectation from a sport naked. It's not like you're buying a touring bike. Whoa, let's see how far that guy was over at double yellow. Jeez. But what we'll do is when we get a little straightaway, just give you an example of some of the pulls this bike has. Alright, so ready? I mean, the thing is a little beast. Not even little, it's 900 cc's. What am I talking about? Inline. 948 cc Z900, the inline 4. It's a beast. So if you're getting it for that kind of fun, yeah, just get it. The SE version with all the fancy suspension and inverted forks, you know, it's more of a performance-based machine. You know, if you feel you need that, you can't lose there. But I thought, you know, what you get for the base on the Z900 is spectacular. So, you know, I bought this bike, probably keep it for, I don't know, a year, 2 seasons, 2 years. Have fun with it, and then flip it for something else to give it something else another try. So, it's not like I bought this as a forever bike. If it had to be a forever bike, could it? No, absolutely, but that's just not why I purchased it. So now, like, here's a 2-lane highway, right? 65 miles an hour, and the wind protection is just, I mean, you're taking it off the chest and the helmet, so on the highway you can just amplify it that much more. We'll go on the first again. There's no traffic. Ready? I mean, the torque and the power is awesome. I mean, even now in 5th gear at, you know, speed limit 45, it's just grunting along, no issues. So I'm an A+ on the Z900 2024. Today it's going to be about 320 miles in this saddle. If you're buying this bike for long jaunts, one thing, I mean, can you do it? Yeah. But one thing you'll want to do is get probably a Corbin seat. If you're doing long rides. But even with that said, you know, 300 plus miles today with your appropriately timed brakes, not a problem. So, you know, this isn't going to be the technical review and the specs and all the suspension. I'm just telling you from a point of view of somebody who bought this bike for pure fun, spirited riding, and I do take it on the highway, and it gets a mix of everything, to be honest with you. So, like most riders out there, this is your review. If you're thinking about getting this bike, just get it. And let's be honest, I mean, it's not like it's a CVO and it's $50,000. If you ride it for 6 months and you don't like it, you can trade it in. But if you're on the fence, highly recommend the 2024 Z900. The SE version, if that's something for you, because you want all that extra performance package, go for it. I think it's like an extra $3,000 for that. Your money, your ride. So we got it. This is a pretty good straight flat, right? That's why you buy it. It's got plenty of that for sure. And I've been cruising on this road at just speed limit for like 20 some miles, and it's comfortable. So if you gotta, you know, ride a little to get to your twisty roads, have some fun and ride back, absolutely no problem with this bike. So if you have questions about the Z900, leave it in the comments below. If you own a Z900, leave it in the comments below on your experience. I bought this bike for exactly what it does. I knew that going in, and that's how I buy all my bikes. I have very realistic expectations. So if you have the same, you will be happy with this bike. And if you get an MT10 or a KTM 890, let me know about that too. Love to hear how those bikes perform, and I'll watch your videos to learn stuff. So, you know, obviously people say, oh, it's flickable and it's a sport naked. It should be. You know, it's very, very, very simple to ride. Obviously, the sporty, aggressive position, a little more upright, not so much hunched over, but it's the best of both worlds, and that's what lets you ride it much longer than a traditional sport bike because of that position. You're a little forward and the weight is on your hands slightly, but not all the way like a sport bike, and that's a noticeable difference. So this bike is definitely hard to go the speed limit. You find yourself often looking down, getting off the throttle just so you can be about 10 over. Because it's just like, here we are, right? 5th gear, 60 miles an hour. I mean, it just wants to pull up to 75 in no time. And that's just what this bike does. So, 1,500 mile review. I'm 2 thumbs up. If you're planning on using it as like a mini touring bike, you'll definitely want to look at getting an aftermarket seat. But other than that, no real negatives. And like I said, gas mileage, I filled up twice today, but I've also been doing a lot of pulls, and then when the camera wasn't on, stopping and starting and just having fun. So I don't buy bikes for gas mileage. I just fill them up when they need it. I just ride them. As a commuter, daily, every day, I understand your need for that. So if that's your reason, I get it. But that's not my reason. So I'm sure this thing, if you rode it conservatively, would do really well on gas. from ready, what, 4th gear, 55. And this is all in road mode, not even sport mode. So we can stop and put it in sport mode and give that a try if you want. Oh, there it goes. So you just have to leave off the throttle. So now we're in sport mode, and I changed sport mode just with this little selection button. You hold it in for like 2 seconds and it goes up to sport mode. So now, yeah, let's get through this light. Actually, even better, we could take off from a light. Alright, see there, sport mode, and I did it right here with this little joystick. Arrow button up to get the sport mode, and then arrow button back down to get the road or rain. I've never even used rain. So, alright, sport mode, here we go. Holy crap, I mean, there's so much power. I mean, that wasn't even pushing hard. That was just being careful. Holy mackerel. So, I believe we're gonna get up on the highway here. We can give that a try on the highway. So here you see we're going to get on Interstate 85 from South Carolina, heading towards Atlanta. So anybody that's ever ridden on this road knows it's a major interstate. So we'll see how we do in the stabilization with all the traffic. And I am back in road mode. I mean, this is a heavily traveled road, a lot of traffic. This is Lake Hartwell. And you see we just outside of South Carolina, heading into Georgia. Welcome to Georgia. I'm going to be on this about 70 miles, give or take. And again, buying a bike to ride it to twisties, to ride it to places where you got to go in the mountains, and you need to do this for short stints, 70 miles. You can hear the wind. I mean, I'm traveling at highway speed in traffic at 70 in 5th gear, one hand, so bike feels firm. I'm not blowing all over the place. Not bad. Would I want to do 300 miles of this with this bike? Probably not. It's when you get the Goldwing out, or a touring bike, but now here comes a 18-wheeler on my left, so let's see when the dirty air blows us around, let's see how bad it is. And in one hand, right? So you're gonna get that truck, and then right after that, woof, a wind. There it comes. Pretty stable. So I don't like being behind this truck because I can't see, so let me jump out here. Easy peasy getting by. And we're gonna pass this truck as well, just for visibility's sake. So we're just rolling along at 82, 84, 85. Still plenty to get past, get out of the blind spot. And then we can easily get over. Can't get any more modern day example of riding on the highway. Another real good real world example. I mean, we're all moving at 80. I'm in 6th gear, and you want to keep that bubble around you, right? And not get trapped. So what we're gonna do is, I mean, we're doing 81 in 6th gear. Traffic is rolling, but just to get out of the way of all this traffic, in 6th gear you can just roll on the throttle, and I mean, you're out of it that fast. The torque is unbelievable. But look, the throttle in and throttle out of danger happens a lot, and it's nice to be there when you need it. So this bike has ample power, and it delivers when you need it. That's in road mode and sport. Rain, not so sure. I would never even ride this bike in rain, unless it was like literally I got caught in a monsoon. So let's get behind here. No self-canceling turn signals and no cruise control. Wah. Oh, jerk. So, just trying to keep enough distance between me and the car in front of me before this truck gets right on me behind me. But just want to get up around this other 18-wheeler and then get in that clean air and clean visibility, and we should be good to go for the last 50 some miles. So I mean, I've been rolling along at 25 miles on the highway so far, and I'm not fighting it. I'm not tired, and this is 6+ hours on this bike today. So if we look way over down in the distance, there's a lot of clearing, good sight line, and we can get in that clean pocket and just ride there. That's the goal. It's a fun thing about riding. You're always looking for where that lane position is and where's that clean pocket, so you can ride in uninterrupted with the least amount of obstacles in your way. At least that's what I do. So you don't get complacent and you're always vigilant. Now this truck is rolling up hard on this car. See if he's going to try to get over. My guess is yes. Maybe not. But I'm going to leave him the room because it's coming. Maybe not, so this is what we do. Easy peasy. Alright, so I think we got some good clean space in front of this minivan. Well, we had it. Let's go over here. I'm gonna get to sit right in this pocket. So, rear world riding on the Z900 at highway speeds. It's part of the 1,500 mile review. I want to talk about one other thing. Foot pegs and handlebars. I don't feel any vibrations, and I mean, I'm 1,500 miles in. The inline four is just so smooth. You know, I mean, look at this. I'm in a construction zone, crappy road, tractor trailer passing me, and I mean, minimal if nothing. So I think that's a pretty good observation, because you know, a lot of high revving bikes, you get a lot of chatter in the bars and the foot pegs, and this is pretty good. So just wanted to add that to the review. The stability's fine. I'm not getting blown around at all. You know, and the wind, is it hit me in the chest? Of course it is. It's 75 miles an hour on a highway with no fairing, but it's not crazy. 5 hours of it? Yeah, that'd be crazy. 70 miles of it? Nah. Now the other thing, I'm going on almost 6 hours on this bike today, with 3 stops, 2 for gas, and 1 just for 10 minutes to stretch my legs, and I'm pretty good. So keep that in mind. You throw the Corbin seat on this, you probably do even better. So, and this is all stock. So with that being said, if you have any other questions or comments about the Z900, put it in below. All the specs and technical stuff you can find on a lot of the videos or on Kawasaki's website. This was just a real POV on a 1,500 mile review from an everyday average rider, weekends, mountains, 2-lane highways, interstate. So hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget,